tonight. Following an incident at the Aquatic Centre last week, the city is considering ways to make the facility safer. Plus, Quesnel City Council will be voting on a censure of motion on Mayor Ron Paull at the upcoming council meeting. And the executive director of the Prince George Native Friendship Centre is being honored with a milestone moose hide pin. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight: following an incident at the Aquatic Centre late last week, the City of Prince George is considering ways to make the facility safer and more family-friendly. Tommy Osborne reports now on an incident that caused quite a stir in the community.
Last week, a person was setting fires outside of the Prince George Aquatic Centre, and later in the day, reports were made of the person consuming drugs inside one of the locker rooms.
The Aquatic Centre situation was horrible for everyone involved. Staff, public, no one wants those kinds of situations to occur, and please be assured that city staff at all levels are examining all options against available budget to keep everyone safe.
The RCMP responded to this report, but some community members have concerns about the amount of time it took for police to get to the scene. The RCMP explained this is because the caller called the 911 line, but a case like this would be best suited for the non-emergency line instead. Given that this was not a life or death situation, RCMP explained it first had to redirect the call to the non-emergency line and from there dispatch officers, which caused the delay.
It's not that we don't want people calling 911. We do want them to call 911. But we also have the non-emergency line, which allows us to triage what's going on a little bit better and prioritize our response times.
The Canfor Leisure Centre has security guards, and the Civic Centre also has security when there's an event taking place. Which begs the question, will the Aquatic Centre also see security now that this incident has taken place? The city says it's possible, but there is a lot to consider.
We have to make sure that the staffing level is appropriate, that all of the people that are required to be present are present, and that whether it is contract services or having RCMP available as they are at times with the Canfor Leisure Pool, then that's what happens as well.
Scott added, once is too much when it comes to an incident like this, so the city is examining the situation and will determine if any extra action is needed to keep our facilities safe. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Over in Quesnel, Council is meeting tonight, and one of the items on the agenda list stands out above the rest. That is a report to Council about possible censure or sanctions for Mayor Ron Paull. Adam Burles has more.
Quesnel City Council will meet tonight, and a report from staff to Council will be brought forward that discusses whether and how Council could sanction Mayor Ron Paull for his actions in distributing and promoting the book Grave Error: How the Media Misled Us and the Truth About Residential Schools. At the March 19th Council meeting, it was revealed that the mayor's wife had distributed the book, and at the April 2nd Council meeting, it was also revealed by Councillors Scott Elliott and Lorianne Rudenberg that the mayor had also distributed the book to two elected officials: the mayor of 100 Mile House and the chair of the Caribou Regional District. In the report, it says that the potential sanctions that could be brought against the mayor include the removal of the mayor from city committees and organizations that require council's approval, including the Caribou Regional District. Council could also make a motion of censure, which is a tool that a council has to express displeasure with one of its members. It is up to council to decide whether or not they will go forward with sanctions and a motion of censure against the mayor. Should council wish to pursue sanctions against the mayor, it would need to indicate to staff which sanctions it would like to consider. Council could proceed in the current meeting or take the deliberation of sanctions to a future regular or closed meeting of council. This report was also sent to the mayor before this meeting on April 18th. Adam Burles, CKPG News.
A prestigious honor has been bestowed on a familiar person in our community. Barb Ward Burkett has been a force in the community for more than 3 decades and has been recognized for all her work at the largest friendship center in Canada. Cheryl Jan has the story.
Barb Ward Burkett has run the Prince George Friendship Centre for 30 years and now is recognized for that work by receiving the 5 millionth moose hide pin. The campaign raises awareness around domestic violence against women and children, and for her, it's personal.
You know, I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and so it has that meaning to me. You know, it touches me, and certainly touches the work that I do at the Friendship Centre as well, where we work with many, many vulnerable and marginalized Indigenous women in our community. So it touches my heart in many, many ways.
The campaign was launched more than a decade ago by a father-daughter team. Raven Lacerte was only 16 years of age at the time.
Go home every year and go hunting for moose, and it was while we were out along the Highway of Tears. When my dad and I were blessed with a moose one year, we had an idea that maybe we could tan up that moose hide and cut it up into a bunch of little squares and ask people to wear that as their everyday commitment about ending violence towards women and children.
And while the campaign was started in northern BC, it has taken on national prominence.
I was just a kid with a vision for a brighter future for women and children, and where women and children were treated with nothing but love and respect at all times. And I know that we can all play a role in that. And so, I didn't know what would come of it, but we had good heart and good intention. And I think Canadians are really ready for this kind of medicine. And so I'm really grateful that it's resonating with people and that they're taking action in this space.
Ward Burkett has been doing work with Friendship Centres starting more than 50 years ago with humble beginnings in Quesnel, and has been at the helm of the largest Friendship Centre in Canada for more than 30 years. To be honoured with the 5 millionth moosehide pin is stunning.
Be a part of a campaign that is literally changing lives and bringing voice to so many women in our country around ending violence. That's pretty amazing. So that to be bestowed upon me, wow.
She says over more than 50 years, the work at Friendship Centres, helping Indigenous people who have come from smaller communities to the bigger communities, has changed very little. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The head of the BC Assembly of First Nations was present at a special conference looking at climate change. Terry Teegee says climate change and what comes with it is a serious issue for First Nations in this region. Here are his full comments.
It's the earliest time we've ever experienced to see a fire ban, and also further to that, it's the worst fire season that we've experienced in our history, not only in Canada but in British Columbia. We're continue a carryover from the drought of last year. It's carrying on this year, so we have many emergencies, including drought. So I think it's really timely, but also I think we're in the midst of many crises right now. I think it's a clear indication that, for example, last year Squilax burnt down half the community, 30 plus homes were burnt down, structures. We've seen Lytton, the community, and part of Lytton First Nations burned down in previous years. What we do know is that for every dollar spent in prevention, we save $6 down the road. So I think, it's wise investment to invest in First Nations communities. There really has to be direct funding from the federal government to communities to really create that space so we can address these emergencies, so we can really address the prevention of some of the interface, especially with wildfires. And I think we're not just talking about wildfires, we're talking about floods, we're talking about potential issues with the seismic activities, so any emergencies.
The first school board meeting in 2 months is taking place tonight, and the most important discussion that will be taking place is in regards to the district budget, which has to be finalized by June. Adam Burles has more.
A $2 million shortfall, that is what is facing school district trustees at tonight's board meeting, the first meeting to be held in 2 months. The district is facing, like I said, a $2 million shortfall this year, so that means cuts and reductions are going to have to be made throughout the district. The question is, where will those reductions be? Well, we don't know that yet, but that's going to be discussed tonight, and the district is hoping for feedback from the public to see where cuts should be made. Among some things are being discussed right now is administration cuts as well as facility staff cuts. So we're going to have to wait and see, but the final budget won't be presented to the Board of Trustees until May, and that's when the district has to send its final report in June.
Smoky skies can cause acute illnesses, which is why it's especially important to follow air quality advisories. Sam Bennison has more on this week's To Your Health.
And now To Your Health, brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
With over 100 active wildfires and multiple droughts across the province, BC could be in for another season of smoke. It's important to take precautions to protect yourself, especially if you are pregnant or have respiratory or heart conditions.
Wildfire can come with significant amounts kind of smoke and air quality kind of contaminants and so on. So we advise everybody to pay attention to those advisory and kind of comes in there. And if you have those kind of health conditions, do plan early and kind of prepare for that season coming.
The first step in preparing for wildfires is to make sure your indoor space has as clean of air as possible.
When the air quality outside is bad, close your kind of windows and kind of seal those areas. There are air quality cleaners and kind of filters kind of there. There are some machines you can buy, as well as there are some kind of do-it-yourself air cleaner kits that the BC government's actually put out advisory how to kind of build that for yourself. If you have health conditions and so on, consider that using the HEPA filter, which provides a stronger consideration.
When you have to go outside, plan your trip to reduce your exposure. An N95 mask can help, but it's recommended to reduce your time in the smoke as much as possible.
When the air quality is bad outside and they're advisory, reduce your outdoor activities. And if you have a health condition, you might consider that really eliminating kind of significant outdoor activities. Also, the smoke usually is acute, like it comes and goes, so you might be able to time your outdoor activity when the air quality is less bad.
To stay up to date on all air quality advisories, visit the BC Air Quality Map on gov.bc.ca. Sam Bennison, CKPG News.
To Your Health. Brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was sitting at $1.64.9 per litre at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Quesnel at $1.63.9 per litre. Manitoba currently has the lowest fuel prices on average in Canada at $1.41.9 per litre, while BC has an average price of $2.04 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Try one of our delicious stuffed cheesy breads, paired up with chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Game 3 went down last night between the Prince George Cougars and the Portland Winterhawks. The Cougars looked to take a 2-1 series lead on the road in a hostile environment. But unfortunately, the Prince George Cougars came out flat-footed. Marcus Nguyen had a hat-trick in the first period alone for Portland. Goaltender Jan Spooner was fantastic. He made 30 saves on the night. Meanwhile, it was a different story for the Cougars goaltender, Josh Ravensbergen. He stopped just 7 of the 10 shots he faced before getting pulled for Ty Young. The Cougars came out with a better performance in the third period. Borje Vallis finally got them on the board late, but it was not enough as the Winterhawks take this one 4-1 the final. Prince George now looks to regroup for Game 4, which goes tomorrow night. The TSX is down 297 points to close at 21,715. The Dow Jones is down 570 points to close at 37,815. And Canfor went up 26 cents to close at $14.51.
Good evening again. We're in for a really nice weather pattern for the most part going forward. Not a whole lot of moisture to talk about. There will be pockets of precipitation in some parts of the region, but not anything too substantial. So this is a look back on our AccuWeather Pacific satellite map. And again, a mix of sun and cloud to start, a little bit of cloud cover rolling through in the afternoon. But way back here, you can see we're still in for quite a few days of some nice clear weather. So ridge of high pressure will start to build. Futurecast looks a little unsettled. A lot of it to the east and towards Alberta, Calgary especially, picking up lots of snow today, tomorrow. The next couple of days are very unsettled there. But for us, it is going to be quite nice as we move forward. There will be a little bit of cloud, as you can see there, maybe into the earlier part of our day tomorrow, just associated with that system off to the east. But otherwise, it is going to be a pretty sunny day by the afternoon hours. So we'll call it a sun-cloud mix. 13 is where we'll get to for temperatures. It's a gradual increase, as I mentioned earlier in the show. We are seeing a real nice weather pattern when it comes to our numbers. 11 in Fort St. John, it's warmed up there. A little bit of cloud cover, but you should see the odd sunny break. Beautiful up and down the coast, in through the southern interior, now getting up to 17 or 18 in Kamloops, similar to that down through the Okanagan and Kelowna. And again, not a lot in terms of moisture for them for really the next several days and into the weekend. It's really going to bump up in terms of temperatures. So I mentioned Burns Lake, and yes, you have a little bit more of that instability for tomorrow. Clouds, a bit of sleet mixed in there, highs of 11, but after tomorrow you should be in good shape with some sunnier skies. McBride as well may see a few showers tomorrow, but everywhere else looks pretty good. 15 for Quesnel, beautiful down there. Vanderhoof looking great as well with a sun cloud mix. So here's a snapshot of the country. It is improving along the west coast. You can see it's been a few rainy days there, but 14 with sunshine tomorrow. Vancouver, different story in Edmonton, warmer than it was yesterday, or warmer than it was today rather, but not really going to see too much in the way of clearing coming your way. And I mentioned Calgary, which we don't have on the map here, but of course they are in for some snow as well. 10 degrees in Regina, clouds, showers expected, so very unsettled in some parts, and then a real nice temperature pattern, and conditions are great through Winnipeg over towards Montreal, and then a bit unsettled as we get over towards the Maritimes. So sunshine is really what we're anticipating late week, and again, we will see pockets of sunshine in the next few days. The breaks in the clouds will be there, but it won't really be till Friday in Burns Lake that you see maybe the best day of the bunch. Tomorrow, quite unsettled. Tonight, really cool as well, and some low-lying clouds moving in. -2 for Mackenzie, partly cloudy tonight. You'll remain dry, although a little cloudier for the next couple of days. Friday, you've got great weather, partly sunny, beautiful at 16, and temperature holds strong into the weekend as well. McBride, overcast skies tonight and down below freezing. Rain and drizzle possibly through the afternoon, but you clear out for Thursday, Friday, and right into the weekend. If you want to go all the way to Sunday, temperatures could be in the low 20s. In Quesnel, -2 overnight, up to 18 by the end of the week, 19 actually, and lots of sunny skies. So we do have clouds in these graphics for you, but we should see some sunny sky as well mixed in for our Wednesday, Thursday. Friday looks really great, and you can see temperatures are bumping up over the course of the next few days.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Try one of our delicious stuffed cheesy breads, paired up with chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Things are heating up in the first round of the NHL playoffs, especially for the Canadian team. So let's check in on what's going on right now in the NHL. So the Maple Leafs are in Boston tonight. It is 1-1 at the end of the second. They are looking to stay alive in that series. They're down 3-1. Looking to avoid yet another first-round defeat. In about 45 minutes, the Winnipeg Jets will try to do the same thing. They're down 3-1 against Colorado. Tomorrow night, the Edmonton Oilers will go for the gentleman's sweep, leading that series 3-1. They'll be back home against the LA Kings. That one goes at 7 p.m. And the talk of the first round right now, the Vancouver Canucks, coming off of a stunning Game 4 comeback win on Sunday. They will try to close out Nashville in 5 tonight. That one starts at 7 o'clock. Let's check in on the NBA now, where 3 teams have advanced to the conference semis so far. Canadian Jamal Murray played hero last night as the Denver Nuggets eliminated the Los Angeles Lakers and ended their hopes of coming back in that series. The Minnesota T-Wolves and the OKC Thunder have also advanced with 4-0 sweeps of their own. The Knicks, they are in Philly, they're at home against Philly currently. They're going for the sweep in that one. Later tonight, the Indiana Pacers will look to advance against the banged-up Milwaukee Bucks. Some series-clinching shots in both hockey and basketball, and a bank shot so unbelievable, you have to see it to believe it. All in tonight's CKP3.
Up first, Jamal Murray does it again.
Scenario, we're going to overtime. Jokic a screen, Murray to try to break the tie. No timeout by the Lakers, I gotta go. James, a bump, a feed, a Prince shot, no! Zero's on the clock, the Nuggets advance! They have won!
For his second game winner of the series, Murray sends the Lakers packing as the Nuggets take a 4-1 series win and move into the second round of the NBA playoffs. Murray proving once again why he's one of the best in the world, as well as why some call him the Canadian Michael Jordan. Next, a changing of the guard.
Around Sergachev, he's not falling for that. Loose puck shot of it, they score!
In the NHL Florida battle, the Panthers absolutely smoked the Lightning with a 4-1 series win, with this goal being not just an insurance goal, but only the third of what would be a 6-1 Florida win. While Tampa Bay certainly enjoyed its run of dominance, it looks like another Florida team is ready to step up and challenge for the Stanley Cup. Finally, an unbelievable bank shot.
Up in the corner, Dadonov looks to be the playmaker, fires one, score! Dadonov throws one off the mask, it looked like, of Logan Thompson. A bank shot goal from an impossible angle.
Logan Thompson looked as surprised as the rest of us that this puck actually found the back of the net. And can you blame him? I don't know how Dadonov not only saw this shot, but managed to bank it off of Thompson's shoulder, helmet, and the crossbar to score one of the playoffs' crazier goals so far in tonight's CKP3.
But that's all we have for tonight, folks. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow. Have yourself a great night. See you later.